What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Well, I want to give you a quick update on Pepe's price because it is now broken out, and I want to tell you exactly what I'm expecting next. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade a little Pepe yourself on up to 50 to 100x leverage and other cryptos on up to 500x leverage, although I don't recommend 500x leverage, you can check out that BTCC link down below. Guys, when you do sign up, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits over $500 and below $100,000. This means, for example, if you deposit $3,000, they're going to give you $300 to trade with. And say, for example, that $300 turns into $800, that profit is yours. No strings attached. You can do what you want with it, spend it, withdraw it, whatever. Guys, you're literally having the ability to get free gains using that link down below. And on top of that, you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonus credits and vouchers. So make sure you go take advantage of that down below. It would be insane to miss out on this. I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it because I know hundreds of you are using it now. So feel free to go check it out down below while it does last. Now, looking at Pepe's price, what we spoke about in the last Pepe video was the fact that it was in this bullish pennant. We have been tracking very closely what's happening here, and I told you this was probably the most textbook bullish pennant I had ever seen. It didn't, of course, guarantee that it was going to break to the upside, but the fact that we were seeing the structure forming was extremely bullish, and that even if we did pull to the downside, it's still bullish because it's delaying the pullback. The bulls are slowing the bears down, extending this consolidation so that the charts and indicators can reset, opening up the door for Pepe to eventually continue this move upwards. But what I told you all was, look, once we get a breakout of this bad boy, I'll tell you exactly what I'm seeing and what I'm doing next. So let's do it. So looking at Pepe, okay, what we can see is that its price actually did something called a fake out. And these aren't rather common. They're not uncommon, but you don't see them all the time. Where what happens is you'll have a resistance zone like this one. You'll go above it, and then you'll fall back under it before the close happens. And this is called a fake out. Now, fake outs will basically all of the time lead to a breakout in the opposite direction. Meaning if you fake out above resistance, you're almost always going to break out, below that previous point of support. And so in this situation yesterday, when I did see this, it was more like last night. I was like, oh snap, that's probably not good. We're probably going to pull it back. And what do you know? We are seeing Pepe's price pulling back to the bottom side of this bullish pennant. So now what you can see is that Pepe has officially broken to the downside of this bullish pennant, which I would be lying if I said is a great thing. That's not the best scenario here. If we were in the most bullish time right now, Pepe quite easily would have broken to the upside of that. And it tried to get the breakout to the upside. But what happened was that although it got that breakout, the bears were stronger than I think the bulls recognized and forced this thing back to the downside, which again, it's not a great sign. It's not something you want to see if you are looking for Pepe's price to push upwards right now. It's not a great sign. But overall, the thing is, what I told you all in the last video was if Pepe's price does break to the bottom side of this pennant, it's not the end of the world. It's not a bad thing because now we're very likely going to enter into descending structure, which has a very high chance of breaking out. So the general thesis here is that, over the next 24 hours or so, you first and foremost need to just watch this very closely. There is a chance that Pepe's price might try to re-jump back in this thing over the next, 16 hours or so. I guess there's a chance that we could see it re-enter and then break out to the upside again. But at that given point, we've seen a double fake out in both directions with both to validate each other. And now we're just in a consolidationary moment where I have no idea. There's no clarity whatsoever what would happen if we do re-enter. So I guess over the next 12, 16 hours, do watch very closely what happens here. Because again, there is a chance that Pepe's price does re-enter here and try to break back towards the upside. But since that's not a super, super high probability, that's like a 30% chance. Let's just talk about the idea that Pepe might have just broke to the downside of this and what comes next. So once a crypto breaks to the downside of a bullish pennant, what will typically happen is that it's going to try to find some support on those previous points on the pennant. So what you can see here is we touched the bottom side of the pennant right here, and we almost touched it right here. This little range between the 187 level and the 193 level are going to serve as support levels. And what you're going to see is that Pepe's price is going to try to build some support right here. It's going to try to maintain above this and use this support level to still try to break the top side of this resistance. Because remember, although we did, break to the bottom side of the pennant, that resistance is still sitting directly above us. It's not like this resistance just goes away right here. No, it's still above us. And so what Pepe is going to try to do is it's going to try to flip this previous point of support into a foundation that it uses to break above this key point of resistance to open up the breakout to the upside. And that's what I told you all. Even if Pepe's price did break to the bottom side of the pennant, it's not the end of the world because now we have this descending structure which still easily could break to the upside and try to make this move up here. That's why I'm not worried about the fact that we just broke down here. But the question just becomes, is that successful or not? And the coolest part about it is, considering the fact that we are already so tight within this little bottom side support and resistance, we really can just sit back and watch. If Pepe's price uses this support to break above resistance, we're in a fantastic spot. I might even do a little bit of buying, expecting that over the midterm we would see a move continuation upwards. But if Pepe's price does break to the bottom side, and we do lose, of course, the bottom side of this 187 level, then we're in a spot to where it wouldn't surprise me if we see Pepe go for a little bit more of a tumble, right? I think in that situation, Pepe's price coming back down towards, 1.6, 1.65, retesting some of these previous points of resistance, trying to flip them into support, makes a good bit of sense. And so I guess the only risk right now is that Pepe's price might see a short-term pullback. If we see it fail to hold some support here and it does continue lower towards that 1.6, 1.65 level, that would be a pullback of roughly, let's go and call it 15 to 20%. And I would say that's about the most risk that's on the table right now. I don't think that Pepe's price is just going to absolutely get smashed all the way back down to the 7.9 level or the 8.4 level. I would say maybe worst case scenario, we see this bad boy get pushed back down towards the 1.2 to the 1.2.5 level, somewhere back down here. But I'm not really going to start to assume that's going to happen, because I don't really have a reason for thinking that's going to happen right now. Sure, a little bit of a pullback and creation of some sort of descending channel in the macro sense, very possible. Maybe we come back to 1.6, 1.5. That is very possible. But I still do believe that's very bullish. I think it's a cool down structure. I think that allows for our indicators and our bulls to relax before trying to break out and continue to the upside. And so until Pepe shows me something different, until something happens that invalidates all of this bullish cool down structure we're creating, I'm still under the belief that Pepe is going to try to find a higher low, build up some support, and try to make this move upwards eventually. And so because of that, no, I'm not very concerned about it. I'm not very worried. And the fact that we broke to the bottom side of that pennant isn't the best thing, but it's definitely not something that I'm concerned about. And so with that in mind, I just wanted to share that with you today. Watch very closely between this let's call it 187 and 193 level. Watch to see if Pepe's price can hold some support here, because yeah, if so, I think we're going to go for that breakout, and maybe that could be the moment where Pepe starts trying to make that move. So of course, for now, I'm purely just speculating while we are still in this sideways channel. I'm simply just making educated guesses as best as I can. But once we do start getting actual breakouts and moves in certain directions, then we can really start to know where this thing's very likely to go from there. So make sure that you do stay tuned. I try to give you these Pepe updates every single day, and I will let you know if this does feel a little bit complicated, if it feels a little bit hard to follow. I did just release a technical analysis for beginners course over in my private server. The private server currently is $5 a month for full access, and you will get access to that course that I just released, as well as 4 other courses that I will be coming out with soon on leverage trading, fundamental analysis, meme coin investing, and much more. So that's available there for you. Also on the Patreon, you're going to get access to my thoughts and insights about news and events, daily fundamental analysis reports, daily technical analysis reports, and much more. So feel free to go check that out. For as little as $1 a month, you can join if you just want to join the community and talk to me, ask me questions, and talk to other members. And for $5 a month, you get access to all that. Also, don't forget, guys, if you do want to trade a little Pepe yourself, you can get that 10% bonus on first time deposits, which of course could give you literally free gains, which is absolutely insane. So check out all those things. Pepe's looking damn good. I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Sure, we pulled back to the downside, and that's not the best thing ever, but it's still in a spot to where it absolutely can still find the support and continue upwards, and that's really all that matters. The grand scheme is all that matters right now, and the grand scheme is looking good. So, of course, stay tuned for all that. Of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's videos, and I can't wait to see you all in the next ones. Peace out, everybody.